Module 2 is an introduction to the business model canvas. We'll call it the BMC. So we're going to talk through first what it is, why we use it, and an example. So what is it? We're going to go through 9 building blocks. And those building blocks set out how a company does business, how it creates, delivers, and captures value. So in addition to the value prop that we talked about and the customer we talked about, now we move into revenue and cost structure and key activities, key partners, channels, all the pieces that round out a business. So we'll go through each of those blocks one by one in the videos, but for now let's talk about the tool. So why do we use it? Well, the BMC, believe it or not, fits on one piece of paper. What do you think about that? What in business, what in life fits on one piece of paper? Not much. This was intentional. What we had before the BMC was a business plan, and that was hundreds upon hundreds of exhibits, and then there were pages and financials and pro formas. And what that was when a company decided they were going to go into business, they put together a research exercise. And then they projected 5 years, 10 years into the future, this is how our business will run. And I swear this is the only time I will do this ever, but I'm going to quote Mike Tyson. You know what they found out? Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. Okay, I'm done quoting Mike Tyson. You can now return to your regular programming. What they meant was, when they actually went to market, sometimes they found out maybe there wasn't a market, maybe it was the wrong market, maybe their financials were way off. But what had happened at that point? They'd invested time. They'd invested a lot of human resources. They'd invested capital. Maybe they'd already prototyped. All of this meant that they had sunk all of these funds and resources into now a defunct business, all before they even got off the ground. So our BMC comes to the rescue. Our one page of 9 building blocks is the response. That's why we use it, so that you can build what you think are the key, concentrated, distilled pieces of a business, and then you can test it, and then you can iterate. And then you can bring together your insights into a product that actually makes that fit, that connection we talked about in the first module. So what are these 9 pieces? I won't keep you waiting. Let's take a look. So our BMC has 9 blocks, and you've already seen 2 of them. What you've seen already is our value proposition in the middle. And this is the beating heart of the BMC. This is what the BMC is based on. You've already seen our customer segments over on the far right. And we're going to introduce you to the other pieces that generate revenue. So that's going to be our customer relationships, channels, and then they all sum to revenue on the bottom. So that's one side of the BMC. The other side, let's step over, that's going to be our cost structure. So on the cost side, it's who you need to work with, our key partners, to get this delivered to the customer. Our key activities, what you actually need to do to manufacture, to just generally get it through those channels we talked about on the right side. And all of the aftermarket things to maintain your service, to help and troubleshoot, all of that lives in your key activities. We're also going to work through your key resources, what type of capital you need, what type of intellectual capital, what type of human capital, and all of that sums on this side into the key elements of your cost structure. And I'm going to finish with that example. So our BMC is a flexible tool. It just has these 9 blocks and it fits on one page. So what does this mean and why is it better than a business plan? I'm going to talk about Instagram. So with Instagram, the founder actually started it as bourbon. He wanted a way to connect drinkers. I know virtuous changed the world. But what he wanted to do was take his college drinking buddies and have them exchange photos, check in at locations, and generally just build a community around bourbon. And then what he found out, no one was using it. They weren't using it for that, at least. They were using it for the pictures. They were sharing, captioning, commenting, liking all of the pictures. And what he was able to do was, when you look at it through the eyes of a BMC, he was able to tweak the value proposition and then just see how all the knock-on effects rippled out to the different blocks. He didn't have to go back to his 500-page document and go and redo the whole thing. And our BMC is that dynamic, living document that can actually change with the market and change with a company.